This meeting is being recorded.
Hello and welcome. This is Edna White. I am your instructor today for this amazing course called the 7-Day Confidence Masterclass, where I'm going to help you build your confidence in yourself. So what's included in this masterclass? This is going to be the 7-day challenge that will help you tap into your belief in yourself. Be more true and assertive in social situations, develop competency faster, and connect to the purpose that gives you strength. Often I'm asked, I think, purpose gives you, I need purpose because I don't feel like I'm not going anywhere if I don't have purpose. And purpose really does give you strength, but you got to know what it is. And you got to know that it changes over time and that it could be just a situation that your purpose changes. So this 7-day confidence class is going to include me, of course, and some other experts talking about growth mindset, stress management, finding purpose, setting boundaries, financial success, leadership, and creating influence. All of them and I will be teaching you how to fight back doubt, summon inner strength, lead others confidently, and achieve more greater joy and resilience. Now, these classes will be recorded each time, so you'll have a way to go back and to look through them and enjoy them at your leisure. Now, mind you, these courses will only be available for up to 30 days. Then I will be posting them on my YouTube membership channel where you can have access to them at a much less rate than you do for Facebook. Now, this confidence class is the only course you'll ever need to master self-confidence, live more authentically, and banish self-doubt for good. You're going to learn proven strategies that I myself have even instituted in my life to cultivate confidence in every area of your life. And you're going to see, you're going to learn from some of the best teachers in all those other subjects that we're talking about. Now, yes, you're paying $7.99 for this, but this is jam-packed worth $400 or more. So today is day 1. And this is going to be how to find your aliveness and motivation again, because you've had it before. You just lost it along the way. Then it's going to show you the 6 habits to creating and enduring confidence and beat self-doubt. See, I'm a life coach. I've been a life coach for a number of years, for I would say over 20 years, and maybe even more, probably 32, since my youngest son is 32. So about 32 years, starting out in the religious sector and moving on through to real estate coaching, to actual confidence coaching and trauma coaching. And now culminating all of that together, I am now doing life coaching and business coaching, which I believe that life purpose has a lot to do with you and what you do in your life, relationships, love, and your business. So let's get started on day 1. What is confidence? Confidence is a belief in oneself. It's a conviction. So when you say a conviction means it can't be changed. It's that certain that it can't be changed, that it's a conviction that one has the ability to meet life's challenges and to succeed, and the willingness to act accordingly. So confidence is not only just a little bit of something and having the belief in something, but it's having the actions behind it. It's having the expressions, it's having the words, it's having the acts that you do surrounding confidence. So it's just not only just believing, it's just not saying, it's literally talking about it, acting like it, doing things like you have it, okay? So let's get started to get towards these 6 powerful ways to overcome your self-doubt and build confidence. The day before this started, I was like, oh, how am I going to like put everything together? And like most people, we all have struggles with self-doubt. And I had to say, hey, wait a minute. I already did this. I wrote this out. It's all planned. What am I freaking out about? And so I'm in the process as well, learning how to adjust to this new life of doing what I want, when I want, and having clients and still being able to live a great life. So I'm still adjusting to that. So self-doubt will kind of come in and try to make itself present, whether male or female. And many people struggle with self-doubt and insufficient self-worth, you know? So we put too much value on what others say. We get discouraged too quickly, and we start doubting ourselves instead of questioning others' opinions. See, what I started doing and when I started working with my confidence, my own self-confidence, I started questioning, well, who is it coming from? Why is it coming at this time and not times before? And is it really true what they're saying? Instead of questioning myself about my abilities, you know, what I know, what I don't know, how I could have said it, what I could have said, but I started questioning the other's opinions. And the fact was, is I had self-confidence. I have self-confidence. I just got discouraged because of what someone said. And I was emphasizing the value when I know that I'm more value than what their opinion was. Now, in my perspective, that's not a question. That's not something, a problem that's dedicated only to women. Men struggle with it too, in believing themselves. But women seem to doubt this because they have so many other roles to deal with. Life is so much fun. And when we believe in ourselves and our abilities, instead of doubting our greatness, we will have a great time all the time. So building strong confidence and getting rid of self-doubt doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, but there's a lot you can do to accelerate the process. And I'm going to share with you today 6 amazing steps to do that. Number 1 is accept that you have self-doubt. See, when you're talking it and the bad habits or the actions don't line up, you're not accepting that you have self-doubt. So you can live out loud all you want, but confidence is not loud. Confidence is certain. It's conviction. Without accepting self-doubt and all the negative emotions you feel, you can't beat it, okay? Acceptance is the first yet most important step when it comes to getting rid of bad habits. Bad habits of talking to yourself, bad habits of, having more attention onto what somebody's opinion is. By suppressing our emotions, we allow them to become bigger and take control over our lives. So if someone says something to you that's a negative opinion, you have the right to say what you need to say to adjust that with them, but still have the conviction that there's no question in my confidence in what I can do or what I can't do. When we accept them, we make the first steps to removing them, okay? Accepting your self-doubt doesn't mean that you confront yourself with negative self-talk. You start feeling miserable. That's not how you accept or confront, right? When you confront something, it's like football, because I love football, but it's like football, as you take it on head on and you tackle it, right? You get right in there and say, yeah, I got this, and I'm going to overcome this. On the contrary, once you accept your doubts, you can cope with them easier. What are you doubting yourself? How do you doubt yourself? Why do you doubt yourself? You can even start by talking to them as if they were part of your body, which I do often. Oh, why are you saying that? What is that? What's going on? I talk myself out of doubt. Okay? I move myself along the process. A little doubt, I know, is always going to be here, but you always talk yourself out of it. You respect yourself enough to know that it's going to be there, but you are stronger. Your belief in yourself is stronger than that little bit of doubt that's there. And my actions show exactly who's boss. I won't let self-doubt control my life. It sounds weird, right? I know, but it helps. Believe me, I do it all the time. I talk to myself. I talk my way out of things every time. Every time I feel a negative emotion, like fear or envy, I take a deep breath and I tell myself that I am stronger and better than what I feel at this moment. Number 2, do you really doubt yourself? Or do you believe what others are saying? Sometimes our self-doubt doesn't even belong to us. We actually trust our abilities and we know what we are capable of, but we get insecure due to other people's opinions. So all the talk that, not the self-talk, but the talk that's been around you or been handed to you, gets you off kilter. And so it's in the back of your mind, even though you may portray that you have, great, confidence in yourself, your actions show us different. So when you do something and you wait for the feedback and you get the feedback and then you're all doubting yourself, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, dida. But you don't do those things. Real confidence means you're not attached to what other people say or think about you. I was interviewing an expert on my podcast, and he said to me, he was talking, and I was listening to him very, succinctly, very succinctly. And then he said to me, Edna, I want you to know something. I said, what's up? He says, I want you to know, I don't want you to mix up my ego with my confidence, because my confidence is my ability to believe what God believes about me, and I believe the same thing that God believes. My ego doesn't do anything good for anyone. And I was like, oh, I love that. So don't confuse confidence and ego. Ego does no good for anyone, only does good for you, makes everybody else feel bad. But confidence, it is enough for everyone. It makes room for you. It exudes from you. It strengthens you. It strengthens the person that you're talking to and all those that are around you. And it makes God really proud. Okay? So know the difference. It means you can deal with negative responses and different opinions and still be all right with that. Be all right with it. Sometimes we start doubting ourselves because of the judgment of family members, friends, and coworkers. That's a pity because it's your life. It's not theirs, it's your life. And so you're not doing or being or acting the way your family members or your friends or your coworkers want you to act or want you to act like them. But it's your life. Others don't wear your shoes, they don't walk in your path, and they will probably never fully understand you. Before you start beating yourself up, find out if it's really your thoughts or someone else's. That's the deep dive work you have to do when you're talking about confidence, when you're working on your confidence. Why do you feel the way you do? Is it you or is it someone else's thoughts? Is it somebody else's words? Maybe you just need to get rid of a few people who regularly tear you down. Don't let other people's opinions control your life. Make sure that you're the only person in the driver's seat of your destiny. Because if you're allowing all hands on deck, you don't know where you're going. you don't want to be able to, you don't want to regret things. You don't want to you allow someone else to drive your car, and then you end up in this life that you're regretting. And then you have animosity against the other person. You know, I wish that at points in my life I had the courage to live a life to myself, not others that expected things of me. I wish I did. I know death is something we hardly want to talk about, yet there are a lot we can learn from people who already spent a lifelong life of living. In the end, it's not much that is relevant. It's the memories we make. It's the legacy we leave. It's the love we share and the happiness we spread throughout our years. Okay? 3, change the voice in your head. Above all, I already mentioned talking to your doubts. I know that sounds weird, but again, it works. Accepting your self-doubt and learning to deal with them is much more effective than suppressing them, than pushing them down and trying to act like it doesn't matter, but it does. Once you accept the negative voice in your head, you can change it. Once you could really listen to it and hear it, it is saying that, yeah, it is saying that, then you can deal with it. If you feel confusion or disbelief, tell yourself that is okay. Insecurity, say, they can even save your life. But we just need to know how to deal with them, okay? Every time you sense a negative thought, stop for a minute. Take a deep breath and let the tension go away. Don't try to avoid the doubts, embrace them. You are stronger than your doubts. You don't need to be afraid. Just appreciate them and softly change the voice in your head. That's not true. I am powerful today. I will not be disempowered. I know what I'm doing. I have all the abilities to do it. Sometimes when we take a deep breath and stop for a minute, we already realize that our insecurities weren't valid. See? Great trick, right? I love it. Take your time. When you sense negative emotions, don't rush yourself. Once you feel calm and relaxed, start shifting your thoughts from the negative to the positive. Think of all the prior accomplishments. Focus on your future goals. Surround yourself with people who you love and who can be loved. 4, admit your flaws. A lot of us don't want to admit that we have flaws or we have shortcomings or we can't do everything, especially women. We think we can do everything. We don't delegate nothing, don't ask for help. So we think we could do everything, but we have flaws. Not having self-doubt doesn't mean you're not going to have flaws. On the contrary, emotionally stable people know that their strengths, but also know their weaknesses. I know my weaknesses. And guess what? I ask for help when those weaknesses show up. I get help and I act accordingly. Okay? I'll learn a little bit about what I don't know or the things that I need to know. But guess what? If I know that I'm weak in those areas, and I'm going to get somebody to help me. Okay? They know they don't have to be good at anything. And it only opens them up to share the imperfections. Because I know I'm perfectly imperfected. I know that. Okay? So I admit my flaws. If you meet a person who continually talks about his strengths or her strengths and how their amazing achievements, you can be pretty sure he or she lacks confidence and is probably hiding those insecurities behind all these words and the resume. Pretty sure. Being genuinely confident and strong means knowing yourself very well, including your weaknesses. Make sure you practice self-reflection. Be aware of your strengths, but also accept your flaws. Once you openly admit your imperfections, you can look for ways to how to compensate with them. For example, you can get help from others, like I just said, who are better than you in that particular field. I don't admit that. I admit that. I admit that wholeheartedly. What I can't do, someone else can do. And guess what? They'll do better and help me be a better team player in the whole issue. Okay? Number 5, question your own criticism. Whenever you find yourself talking poorly about yourself, be your own critic. Ask yourself whether your self-doubt makes sense at all. Does it make sense? Is all the criticism valid, or are you too hard on yourself? Years ago, I used to be completely my worst own critic. I would criticize the simplest thing as putting my socks on. It would take me 20 minutes to put on socks because I was adjusting them. I'm not saying 20, but let me just say the longest to put socks on because I was always adjusting it. This just didn't look right. You don't even know how to put socks on. This is what was going on in my head, okay? Talking poorly to myself. Would you ever talk to your grandchild or your child when they're putting their socks on like that? Probably not, Edna. So, you're literally telling yourself that you're not good enough when you do those things. Too often we upset ourselves by being too harsh, and it's counterproductive. Don't you want to be productive? Yes, I know you do, because I do. We don't appreciate our strengths and our wins, but instead focus on a few little mistakes. Let me tell you something. I came up with this thing with my sisters. Well, not my sisters, my friends who are my sisters. And we're always talking about women and discussing, women politics, all that stuff. It was always talking about that good stuff. And so I said to them, I did something the other day, and they said, what? I pulled out my resume, and I was pulling it out just to update it or whatever, and I pulled it out from an old file, not from one off the computer. And I was like, wow, I did that? I did this? And I said to myself, I never celebrated any of these things. I did what I was expected to do without celebration. And not realizing that I did a lot of firsts, even with my mistakes. I did a lot of firsts. So we make it a yearly event that we kind of get together and celebrate our resumes. So you could do that too. You can do something like that too. Look at your resume. Celebrate the things you didn't celebrate. Clap. Go out. What I did is I went out and treated myself to Starbucks and sat in the cafe and just celebrated all of my successes. Cooking, my boiled egg and my coffee together. Cheers, I did this. I didn't get to celebrate the things. Some things you need to celebrate. Most things that are such accomplishments, you need, even smaller steps, you need to celebrate. Okay? Speak nice to yourself. Be your own biggest cheerleader. If you don't trust yourself, why would other people? And that also goes to, if you don't have customers, you're wondering, why I don't have any customers. It's not always your marketing. It's because, do you really believe in yourself? Is what you're saying about your business getting them in the gut at boom, boom, boom? Probably not. 6, last one, appreciate your successes. I just said that. See, whenever we doubt ourselves, we don't say the positives. We don't see them. We don't celebrate them anymore. Yet most of our lives are full of beautiful moments and successes, and we can be proud of them. However, it's our job to highlight these moments, even if we feel bad. How about that? Yeah. Take the same feeling that you would. If you need to do something for somebody, but you don't want to. Take that same energy and put it in celebrating yourself, and you celebrate yourself. It's your job to feature your strengths, highlights, and all your successes. It's your job. It's not nobody else's job. It's yours. So whenever you feel yourself doubting yourself, focus on the bright side. Keep remembering all your achievements. Look, I met someone that has a wall of fame, right? Her own. All the awards she received on her wall. So when she goes into her office, she sees all that she's done, and it keeps her on the right track. So she doesn't struggle, right? With all that. And listen, if you struggle to do something, if you struggle with any of this information, start a success journal. At the end of every day, take note of your achievements. See, there should be a section when you write your journal, should be a success journal. And you write that in there. Even if it's a tiny thing, like instead of doing 5 things, you did 3 things today on your list of to-dos. Appreciate yourself and accomplishments. Again, listen, nobody's going to cheer you on. If you don't do so yourself, doubting yourself is the door opener for anyone else to question you as well. So don't get upset when they start questioning you about what this or that or whatever is going on, and you didn't do this so well. Listen, you have to have the confidence. You have to have all that motivation, that aliveness, right? That comes alive in you. You have to create those habits, those 6 habits that I just spoke about to create enduring confidence and beat your self-doubt. That will be available for you to read. Now, I expressed how I felt, but I know that you're going to want to have that information right on hand, right? So usually when you're on these workshops or these classes, I give you time for questions and answers. And right now, there's room for questions and answers. But if you have a question, put a question under the video for today, for day 1. Put a question that you have about confidence under the video so I can answer it for you. Now, tomorrow is day 2. How to stop people pleasing, banish self-doubt, and pull yourself out of the down days and take immediate action. You're not gonna want to miss this one, okay? And if you do miss it, there'll still be a video. So, like I said, if today is day 1, how to find your aliveness and motivation, and the 6 habits to create enduring confidence. So, if you have a question, put it down under the video, and I'll be glad to answer it for you. Today's PDF will be along with it as well. See you tomorrow on the 7-day challenge